Hi, my name is Lauren and welcome to my channel. I recently posted a video about my 2022, 23, and 24 book journals, and I wanted to post one now about my 2025 one that I just kind of finished up putting together. I definitely don't think it's too late for anyone to create one for 2025, and I have it right here. I'll go into more depth on that, but I wanted to mention some of the planning materials and supplies I used. But I did get an idea from All the Rad Reads on Instagram, and it turns out she had gotten the idea from someone else, from Whitney at Humanity Reads, except in between the H and U of humanity is an S. I don't know how to say that out loud. They used it for tracking the publication year of books, but I thought it was a great idea for tracking genres. It's basically like a little bubble tracker. I kind of pared back my reading journal in some ways this year to make it more sustainable for myself. And then I added more challenges, which I'll go into in the video, but challenges from my local library. There's an ultimate book nerd challenge every year. I will also do the A to Z challenge again this year, and then I am doing both of Kayla from Books and Lala, her buzzword, both word and picture challenge. As for what I use to make this journal, I use just like a regular 3-ring binder. I use sketchbook paper that I punched holes in. I use Posca paint pens, Papermate, Flair pen, markers. I love those, felt tip markers, and sticky stickers. And then I use Canva for some planning. They have that whiteboard feature where you can kind of create a brainstorm space, and I just planned out what pages I was going to have in my book journal and what order they were going to be in. So that was pretty helpful. So anyway, stay tuned. Okay, so now it's time for the flip through of this journal. If you've seen my previous one, which you probably haven't, it's up, but those were all spiral bound sketchbooks or notebooks. This one is clearly a 3-ring binder. I thought it would just give me a little more ease of movement. And the whole reason that 3-ring binders exist is because they're at this angle to start, and then you can fill them up quite a bit, where when I was adding the monthly spreads to my notebooks, it would get hard to close. So anyway, here is the front. This is the cover page, of course. If it's hard to read, it says 2025 reading journal, and it's a sunrise next to an ocean. This is the only page that is in full color because it took forever, and these are done with all Posca paints or Posca paint pens, and then Papermate Flair felt tip pens. Okay, then I have over here my goal. This is 75, and it is a rainbow. So these are going to be colored in, whereas in the past I colored them by rating. I'm not rating books in the same way anymore, not with stars. So instead I'm just going to follow the rainbow. And then this is my book list for the start and end date of each of the books I'm reading. So I have finished 2 this year, and then there are so many started because some were not started this year, they were started last year. And then you'll see throughout the entire thing, but they are decorated with stickers, and these are just sticky stickers because I have a ton. Now this page has a lot of bleed through because on this page, this is my bookshelf. I'll put little construction paper book spines in here for each book I finish, and each shelf is a month. So I'll only fill each of them for that month. And if I get to the end of the month and not the end of the shelf, then I'll just fill it in with more stickers. This one's cute. Little chipmunks in a recipe box. I actually love this one too. I love them all. That's why they're on here. Okay. This side did not bleed through as much because the pen was running out. These are some sort of like Crayola paint pens with like paintbrush tips. But one whole, like 2 whole sketchbook pages were just a little much for it. Okay, some of these pages I did not title because I was tired of lettering and because I knew what they would be. So this is my monthly tracker, and it's how many books I read each month. And instead of putting numbers or like a bar graph, I write the titles and then they stack up. And in the past, I would write them in ink and then highlight them with highlighters based on their rating. And now I'm just going through the rainbow. Next is my genre tracker. I mentioned earlier, but I was first inspired by All the Rad Reads and then by SYrn on Instagram. So here's my top 10 tracker system. As I mentioned earlier, I do have the name now. It is Jashi Corinne on Instagram, who we saw this first on. Her name is Jess, but I'll have everyone's usernames linked in the description. But basically, I used to use the bracket system and do like every month and then whittle it down to the top book of the year. But as many people have like mentioned before, it's not a perfect system because it doesn't give, while it gives you your top book of the year, it doesn't give like your top maybe 3 and 6 accurately, because if you liked your January book better than your September book, but you liked your February book better than your January book, you'll never know that order. This gives you the order. It's a matrix. Basically, I will pick my 10 favorite books. I do have to know that for the year. Put them here and give them a letter A through J, and then I will make them face off in each of these squares, color them in or write the letter for each of these squares. Down here, I will total up how many times each book won, and that's how you know which one is the top one, the one that won against the other books the most. So every single book will be pitted against every single other book. So it should be a more like fair and just correct system. And then when I'm done with this at the end of the year, I will put either the titles or the covers of each of the books on this side. Next, I am going to put like my top rated other than my top 10, or including my top 10, but just more than that. I don't know how much more. Then here will be, and has already started, my library money. How much money I have saved by checking books out from the library or the Libby app instead of buying them. And so far I've saved $16.99 with an audiobook. Audiobooks are expensive retail. Okay, then this is the A to Z challenge. No title because I didn't need it. And I've already filled in the 2 books I've read here. When I read, like 75-ish books a year, this gets pretty full. It's still hard to hit like the X, the Z, the Q. So we'll just see. Okay, Buzzword. This challenge is by Kayla from Books and Lala. I should probably put that up here. But these are 12 title prompts. So like finding a book with truth or lies in the title, finding a book with water-related words. She has a whole explainer, of course, on her channel. But instead of, like, these are supposed to go with each month, so January through December. Instead of doing that, I'm just going to fill them in when I get them. Because that's what works for me. And then this is the same, except instead of title, it is the book cover. So I have gotten a skyline already from By Book or By Crook. It has a lighthouse. Then this is my local library's challenge. It's called Ultimate Book Nerd, which is fun. It is 50 prompts long, and I just wrote them all in there for me to remember and have easy access to. And I have already filled 1 in. Okay, and then last is my year review. This has just gotten neatened up since last year, and I took out everything that had to do with ratings. So right now the only things I am planning to like keep track of is how many books I've read in a month, how many rereads, how many DNFs, and the most read genre. If I come up with more things to keep track of here, like maybe I would keep track of if it was an audiobook or a physical book. I don't really care about page count, mainly because different editions of the same book could have different numbers of pages. If they published consistently word counts of books, I would probably track that, but they don't. So yeah, if I come up with more, or if you have any ideas for me, I would check them out and add more, but I just left lots of room just in case. So that's all. It's the end of the video. I have the journal here again. I might put something in this front pocket, but who knows. I hope it was entertaining or useful or helpful in some way. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you have any like things that you love putting in your book journal, or like, I don't know, you see any mistakes in mine and you want to let me know so I can fix them, I'd love to hear it. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.